Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone in your life only seems to show up when they need something but disappears when you need them? That's the feeling of being used, a discomforting, even painful realization that you're just a tool in someone else's eyes. We all want to believe in the goodness of others, but unfortunately, this isn't always the case. Fake relationships and masked friends aren't always easy to spot, especially when we're too busy trusting others' goodwill. So, how can you detect these hidden signs? How do you know if someone truly values you or is simply using you as a means to their ends? This article will delve into the alarming behaviors and red flag attitudes that indicate you're being taken advantage of. Once recognized, you can protect yourself, establish healthy boundaries, and avoid becoming a victim in someone else's manipulative game. Let's explore these signs together and see if you might be unknowingly trapped in a toxic relationship. Don't let yourself be used. Take control of your life and relationships. First attitude, selective presence. One clear sign of being used is the selective presence of the other person. You can easily spot this through their pattern of showing up only when they need help but disappearing when you need them most. Imagine you're always offering support, whether listening to their issues or helping them in various aspects of life. They call you anytime, and you're always there, ready to help. But when you find yourself in a tough spot, like a stressful, exhausting day or needing someone to talk to, you are nowhere to be found. Your messages are ignored, your calls go unanswered, and if they do respond, it's only with brief, uninterested replies. This isn't just carelessness. It's a subtle form of exploitation. They come to you only when they need something, turning you into a crutch without any regard for your feelings or needs. This creates a severe imbalance in the relationship, making you feel like you're walking down a one-way street, where the support and care only flow from you to them, never the other way around. This is a clear warning sign that you're being used, and it's time to reassess this relationship to protect yourself. Second attitude, lack of personal interest. A genuine relationship is built on mutual interest and care. However, noticing that the other person doesn't care about your life can be worrying. Consider this scenario. You share with them about an exciting new project or a personal challenge you're facing. Yet, instead of asking more about it or listening sincerely, they quickly shift the conversation back to themselves. You could talk about a stressful day at work, hoping for some empathy or advice. But instead of responding with concern, they merely murmur or immediately start talking about their issues, with stories unrelated to yours or solely focused on their interests. Sometimes, they don't bother to ask how you're doing at all, leaving you feeling like your thoughts and experiences are being overlooked. This behavior shows a lack of curiosity and empathy on their part. Instead of caring about who you are and what you're going through, they see you as nothing more than an audience for their stories, or worse, a tool to satisfy their needs. This is a clear sign that, in their eyes, you're not valued for who you are but for what you can offer them. If the relationship is one-sided like this, it's time to ask yourself whether this is truly a relationship worth maintaining. Third attitude, using guilt and manipulation. Another sign that you might be being used is when someone uses guilt to manipulate you. This subtle tactic makes you feel compelled to meet their demands, even when it makes you uncomfortable. Imagine having a friend who constantly asks you for favors, ranging from small tasks to more extensive requests. When you decline because it's inconvenient, they immediately respond in a way that makes you feel guilty. They might say, "If you were a good friend, you'd help me this time," or "I'd do the same for you if you needed it." These words aren't just casual requests. They're designed to manipulate your emotions and pressure you into agreeing. This doesn't stop with requests either. Sometimes, they might deliberately bring up past events to make you feel indebted as if you owe them something. They might say things like, "Remember when I helped you out that time?" and then ask for another favor, even if it's beyond your limits or capabilities. This is no longer mutual support in a relationship. It's manipulation, exploiting your empathy and kindness. This manipulation doesn't just put pressure on you. It gradually erodes your self-esteem. You start doubting your worth, wondering if you're a terrible friend for not meeting their demands. This is how manipulation works. It slowly strips away your ability to say no until you become a tool for others to use as they see fit. Recognizing this tactic is the first step in protecting yourself and maintaining boundaries in any relationship. Fourth attitude, persistent lack of respect. A sign that cannot be ignored when you're being used is a persistent lack of respect. This is reflected in how the other person continuously disregards your needs, time, and boundaries. Consider a friend who frequently cancels plans at the last minute without prior notice or doesn't even show up as promised. You rearrange your schedule to meet them, but you're left hanging in the end because they have other, more important things to do. Another example could be someone always late, making you wait for hours without a sincere apology. This doesn't just waste your time. It also makes you feel unimportant. Instead of respecting your schedule and boundaries, they expect you to adjust everything at their convenience. Each time this happens, you feel devalued, as if what you want or need doesn't matter. This behavior is a clear sign of selfishness and a lack of concern. While everyone makes mistakes or sometimes prioritizes their own needs, when this lack of respect becomes habitual, it shows that they don't truly value you. They don't care about your feelings or needs. They're only interested in what benefits them. This creates an unbalanced relationship where you always make adjustments while they don't reciprocate. Recognizing this persistent lack of respect is crucial for redefining your boundaries and reassessing the value of the relationship. You shouldn't tolerate disrespect. Standing up for your rights and dignity is necessary to maintain self-esteem and mental health. Fifth attitude, superficial bonding. Another sign that you might be being used is when the relationship between you and the other person remains superficial and shallow. Even though you may have known them for a long time, the relationship never deepens, lacking any real emotional connection. Think of a friend with whom every conversation revolves around trivial matters, never going beyond small talk or everyday gossip. When you try to share more profound thoughts or personal feelings, they seem uninterested in engaging in the conversation, quickly steering it back to lighter, more comfortable topics. They keep a distance, are unwilling to open up about themselves, and are reluctant to let you do so. For example, they dodge the conversation or respond superficially when you try to talk about important aspects of your life. Maybe a project you're passionate about or concerns about the future. The discussion never delves into anything meaningful, skimming over the surface of issues. No matter how much you try, the relationship feels stuck, never progressing beyond a shallow level. This shows they don't genuinely value building a deeper connection with you. To them, you might be just a friend to pass the time with, or someone to chat with when convenient, not someone they genuinely want to connect with on a deeper level. Suppose a relationship consistently remains at a superficial level and never develops into something more meaningful. In that case, it's a sign that you're being used, and that the other person has no intention of investing in a more substantial relationship. To protect yourself, it's essential to recognize the existence of these superficial bonds and ask yourself whether you're investing time and emotions into relationships that don't offer actual value. Sixth attitude, absence in crucial moments. A clear sign that you're being used is when the other person is absent during crucial moments in your life. It's easy for someone to be around when everything is going well during good times, but a genuine relationship is tested when you need them the most, when facing challenges, difficulties, or significant life events. Imagine going through a particularly stressful week. Perhaps you've lost your job, fallen ill, or experienced a personal loss. You expect that your close friend or partner will be there to comfort you, listen, or simply be present. But when you reach out, all you get is their absence. They might offer all sorts of excuses, too busy, other plans, or they might not even bother to respond to your calls for help. For example, you have an upcoming surgery and hope they will visit, or at least call to check in on you. Instead, they don't show up and don't even send a text. And when you ask about it, they respond dismissively, as if it's not worth their time. The promises of, "I'll be there if you need me," suddenly become meaningless because when the tough times arrive, they're nowhere to be found. This indicates that they don't genuinely care about you or the relationship. Their absence in crucial moments isn't just a sign of indifference. It's a clear indication of a one-sided relationship where you're the one who's constantly investing and sacrificing, while they're only present when it's convenient or beneficial for them. Recognizing that you're being abandoned during critical times is necessary to evaluate the relationship. You deserve to have people around you who are there for you, not just when things are easy, but also willing to stand by your side when storms hit. A precious relationship is where presence and support are consistently shown, regardless of the circumstances. Conclusion: identifying a relationship where you're being used isn't always easy, but it's a crucial first step in protecting yourself and maintaining your mental well-being. We've explored 6 critical attitudes: being wary of selective presence, lack of personal interest, using guilt and manipulation, persistent lack of respect, superficial bonding, and absence during crucial moments. These signs indicate an imbalance in the relationship and raise the question of whether the other person truly values you or is merely using you for their own purposes. If you recognize any of these attitudes in a relationship, it's time to reconsider. Set clear boundaries, don't hesitate to say no when necessary, and always remember that you deserve relationships built on respect and reciprocity. Protecting yourself and maintaining your dignity is essential for sustaining healthy and meaningful relationships. Take action today to remove toxic relationships from your life and build a circle of friends and loved ones who genuinely care for and value you. Life is too short to waste energy on people who don't deserve it. Choose carefully and nurture relationships where you are respected and truly loved.